Hello YouTube once again. Here's another video about ice water. This is video number 2 that I'm making. And I'm going to explain some of my posts that I put on the website. Because some people I don't think are getting all the posts that I put up on the computer. So I'm going to read some of the posts that I posted on here and haven't mentioned on this video. That I mentioned that when you have ice and water, it's 36 degrees and not 32 degrees, which is solid ice. And why I do this calibration. And how this makes perfect sense. And it's a better way of calibrating it to get a better reading of the outside temperature. And you can see that I got 36 here, and I got 36. Those two thermometers, and I got all ice all the way down to the bottom. But here are some of the posts that I wrote that I'll show on the computer. It's showing why I calibrated to 36 degrees and not 32 degrees, which is solid ice. Now here are some of the things on here. Steve, meteorologists are not weather guys. Meteorology is a science of measurement. We are experts at very precise and accurate measurements and are not a meteorologist and have no experience at making an accurate measurement. Meteorology is a study of the atmosphere. Your calibration of thermometers is wrong, and your ideas about chemtrails wrong. There are hundreds of thousands of people manufacturing airplanes in many companies all around the world. These are millions of people at thousands of airports that are fixing and maintaining these airplanes. If there really was any equipment installed on airplanes that allowed anybody to turn on or off chemtrail seating equipment, don't you think that somebody would have reported it or posted photos? Now, I've mentioned that there are photos, and I'll read on here. There have never been any photos because there is no equipment on an airplane that created chemtrails. Those white vapor trails that sometimes appear behind the airplanes are just water vapor that condenses from the contribution of the jet fuel. H2O is a byproduct of combustion. When there is enough water vapor in the air and the additional water vapor from the exhaust of the jet engine, water vapor will condense in the icy cold air at these altitudes. That is proof that you and the rest of your conspiracy friends are delusional. And then I write here, if you read underneath, it says, and I post back saying, no, I am not wrong about chemtrails. It is not just water vapor. Water vapor does not linger for hours. It disappears right away. Go to the website www.geoengineeringwatch.org. Go and listen to the videos on that homepage of this site. The ones in the middle tell me, stop telling me it is not true. And just go and read it and stop telling me I'm wrong about the temperature. some more proof. When it comes to milk, you have to keep your milk at 40 degrees to make it last 21 days. If the refrigerator is 44, it will spoil in 6 to 7 days. I have had this happen. Back in the 1970s, you could buy a carton of milk, and on the side it had a thermometer telling you how long the milk will last at 40 degrees. And it was 21 days at 40 degrees. And in my refrigerator, there are things about my refrigerator I've mentioned here. It works very well, and my milk is no longer spoiling, and nothing is freezing in my refrigerator. So if I were not getting 36 degrees with the ice and water, then the things in my refrigerator would be freezing when my thermometer was reading more than 32 degrees and as high as 36 degrees. But no water is freezing in my refrigerator until my calibrated thermometer is at 32 degrees on my calibrated thermometer. So my ice and water calibrated to 36 works just fine. It doesn't matter. Anybody else can do this at home. It is just as good. It doesn't matter. Those little bit impurities make it 36, then that is a known science. So you are saying that this type of water and ice can be warmer than 32. So I rest my case. So people at home can use 36 ice and water calibration point. It doesn't matter. Why go through all the other bother? I do not have any problem using this method. I am getting all my food at the right temperature. It is working fine with storing my food. Nothing is spoiling or freezing. I do not want. There's nothing wrong with me using this type of calibration. I have been doing it for many years and there is no problem. It makes perfect sense. Even all my other weather instruments in relating to outside temperature. And one other guy here is mentioning, why do I keep mentioning how warm it feels? Our skin on a day feels is not a calibration standard for temperature. Pure water freezes at 32 and boils at 212. I know that. I never denied that 32 was not freezing. The water must be distilled and have no impurities. That doesn't matter. It does not matter. And you say it does not matter how warm it feels on a certain day, whether it feels like 93 or 97. Our perspiration of the temperature is not a calibration standard. Using how warm you think it feels is stupid. No, it isn't stupid. One person may feel it is 92 and another person standing right next to them may feel like it's 94. Which person is right? A perfectly calibrated thermometer is correct, not the people. Now see, that's wrong. I don't agree with that. The humidity will affect how warm it feels also. Well, I say here, underneath my mention, I mention how warm it feels is because when you are standing in the sun, your body is receiving air temperature plus the strong sun that you are trying to ignore by covering it up with radiation shields. I do not mean direct sun on your thermometer, but do not leave it with fans blowing on the sensor inside. Your body receives sun and shade, so you have to account the 4-degree offset field calibration. So when you have a weather station in a shaded area, which I say should be in the sun, you will be getting a reading as if the weather station were in the sun. Weather stations should be in the sun, direct sun, but have it so it gets some radiation. Do not cover so much radiation as if the sun was not there. I found that making it like an umbrella effect. And so the light can get to the sides and the bottom, because that radiation is bouncing all around your body. So you want to receive that temperature, because your body is receiving sun and radiation and air temperature, making the temperature hotter on your body. You want the whole temperature, not just part of it. You want the whole temperature. You often wonder why, if you are in your house and the temperature and humidity inside and out are the same, according to your calibrated thermometer, says it's 72 degrees in your house, but outside the weather people say it's only 68. But when you step outside into the sun, it feels like 72, is because it really is 72. If you calibrated the thermometer 4 degrees warmer, that would account for why it feels like 72. It is because of the radiation. So why won't you want to tell the people that temperature and calibrate the thermometer as if it were in the sun? 4 degrees warmer makes more sense that way, to measure the whole temperature, the sun and the air, everything. But when you weather guys measure the outside temperature, you do not put into account the sun and radiation that is radiating all around your body. So you're not getting the whole temperature of the sun and radiation, but only air temperature on your over your body. So you ignore this, like the sun and radiation around your body isn't even there, saying that it has nothing to do with what the temperature is at all. How silly and ridiculous. So this is why I have calibrated my thermometers 4 degrees warmer, to put into account for that error in temperature measurement outside when it is hot and sunny, because your body is receiving more heat with the sun around you. So you should calibrate the offset on the thermometer 4 degrees warmer. This way it helps to account for that error. This way you are getting the whole temperature and what it can help to get the temperature to read more like the way the temperature feels. Where I live here in Clearwater, Florida, there is nowhere to walk in the shade. When you walk on the sidewalk, it is all sun everywhere. And if you and I were at the beach, there wouldn't be no shade there either. This way of thinking, taking temperature is much more sensible. And that's my video on describing about the ice in water and having the temperature calibrated the way it is, because it's much more sensible. That's what you want to have measured, and I know other people out there agree with me. That I know that people rely upon my temperature measurement, and a lot of those personal weather stations that are on Weather Underground. During the daytime, there are ones that do read the same as mine. When it's real hot and sunny, the ones that are more out away from buildings and out more in the sun, it helps to account for the calibration that I did with the thing not being quite as much in the sun. It's just a little bit more shade on mine. But if they have it, so you want to have it so it reads the whole temperature. And that's the video.